I've been out of town, away from home, for a couple weeks in Pennsylvania with my girlfriend. We've had a good amount of downtime, and I knew that going into this, but I still decided against bringing any model making supplies at the very last minute. But let me tell you, when I found out there was a Warhammer store only 15 minutes away, my plans changed big time. I wanted to make this video today to share with you my surprisingly positive experience with traveling and hobbying, and maybe even show off some models in the process. So join me in this video while I try and take a very complex hobby on the go. While I was at the nearby Warhammer store, the employee there showed me something I'd never really paid much attention to before, and it's this starter box. This is such a good pickup for someone who's just getting into the hobby, or for someone like me who's a few thousand miles away from the regular supplies. It came with clippers, a sander, a brush, and 12 paints, and only cost me 45 bucks. Considering they sell their premium clippers for 50 bucks, I was pretty pleased with this set and would definitely recommend it to anyone getting into the hobby. They have two versions, one for 40k and one for Age of Sigmar, but the only difference is the colors it comes with. So I picked up the Age of Sigmar one, and I also got a couple extra brushes and some glue. I don't play Age of Sigmar, but I really like their models, so I picked up these cool dudes here. The Cruel Boys are super interesting to me, and this guy will make a great centerpiece model, I think. With that really cool cage and those long beast nails, I've always liked the look of this guy. The Stormcast Eternals are really cool too, and they're really easy to paint in my experience, so I thought this chariot would be nice to go opposite the Swamp Beast. We're staying in my girlfriend's grandpa's house, and I've kind of taken over their den with my model making stuff, with permission of course. I really like the chair in here with this desk that I can put right over my lap, and it's right next to a lamp. It's kind of perfect. It's the perfect setup to build and paint, already taking this super relaxing hobby and taking it up a notch, or down a notch since it's relaxation I'm talking about. Priming the finished built models is probably my second favorite step behind just finishing the paint job. I always prime everything black just because it makes the hard to reach places look like shadows instead. I used to prime everything white, but I found that I spent too much time covering up every little bit of white. Comment what colors or techniques you guys use when priming. I'd love to try a new method. While I was painting these models, I was starting to realize that I may prefer the Age of Sigmar models over 40k's models. The detail here is kind of next level. Also, I've been reading a lot of fantasy books, like the Song of Ice and Fire series, so maybe I'm just in more of a fantasy theme right now. I still haven't played Age of Sigmar yet though, so 40k is definitely still my preferred tabletop game. Well, with these guys finished, I'm pretty happy with the results. I may even have to build some other AOS stuff when I get home. I have the Dominion Age of Sigmar box, which contains like 1,000 points more of each of these armies, so I may make a video where I finish those, because I'm loving the look of these armies. I do think I struggled a little bit with the Griffin dogs. They didn't turn out exactly how I wanted, but I think it still works. It's a learning experience, I guess. Speaking of learning experiences, with every new model I make, I try and experiment with a new technique or idea. For this chariot, it was my first time using the blood for the Blood God technical paint, and I really like the results. It's small, but it adds a good level of eye-catching detail to the model, and it also makes it feel like it's part of an actual battle, which I love. With the Swamp Boss, I tried painting water on the base to simulate the swamp-like environment that these Cruel Boys are from. I'm not quite as satisfied with this one. I think the idea is good, but a material more like resin would probably have worked better to give it a glossier finish. Both were learning processes though, and definitely made the experience more enjoyable. I really didn't think it'd be possible for me to completely finish and be satisfied with the paint job on these minis while traveling. But I think since I got all those paints from the starter set, I was really able to pull it all together. Shout out to Roger at the Allentown Games Workshop store for showing me that setup. All I have left to do is find a good method for shipping these bad boys home. Fingers crossed they make it safe. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave comments down below. I'd love to answer any questions you have. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you next time. Take care.